shut it down and start a new one? I don't know. I mean,
I think I'm gonna have Erickson just reboot his system because that hold on. I have to let everyone know we are recording.
It's funny, it might. Oh wait, does that just say 3 of 3? Looks like I can't fucking. It looks like it says 3 of 5 on the call.
It did that, Andy.
Yeah.
There's 3 of us.
I know, but it says 3 of 5.
Yeah.
Right. Well, who's the 5th?
2 Erickson.
This is a saved group call.
1, 2, 3
of the 5 that are in the group.
Who's the 5th though? Who's
Doug.
the 5th? Oh, okay. Doug. Hello, Doug.
Okay, so Erickson's restarting his computer. No, Andy, 3 of 5 means there's 5 people in the group.
Right.
But 3 are on. You, Chad, and myself. You understand how that works?
I was with Andy though. I didn't know who the 5th was.
See?
It made sense what you said.
No, well, until I explained it.
Well, now I get it. Hell
so why is there 5, Andy?
Because Doug Stanhope is a silent. He watches. He's a creeper.
Or because Chaille uses 2 different accounts to access this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're smoking what weed, Andy?
I'm having Larry's Burger is one of them.
It's good.
Yeah.
Larry's Burger.
This is Andy's Burger, but I gotta do some trimming and shit. And I should have left. I wish I would have left it on the ground.
Your weed looks horrendous.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, this ain't the best of it. That's just I did shitty trimmings to begin with. I'm not a good,
I like sell it.
I need to fucking
have the final product. I want
to have a hippie or two to work this weed. I'm like
you like when you buy produce from the stand that's not washed and not cleaned up at all, and you gotta like basically pick it yourself.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like you pick it. Like no, fuck that. What it's for the experience. But I don't know, man. I don't want to. I want to just smoke weed, and I want to just like these plants are taking too long to bud. I had to pull a bunch. I mean, my enthusiasm has waned completely. But I keep dumping the shit on them, the bat shit, and they keep growing. So
you're using bat guano for fertilizer?
Yeah. Sweet. I find I like just to have that around to dump on other plants too. Fucking really perks it up.
Is it turkey shit that you're just calling bat shit? Turkey
shit is pretty. It's something of its own, Yeah. It's like fucking a little dollop of oil spill, sort of. But you can, my dog, when she swears by it, she'll go out and lick the spot where the turkey shit is.
I feel like it's different than join the call.
Welcome, Erickson.
Yeah, there you are.
You're no more clued into the conversation than any of the rest of us. Just to give you some context. Yeah. Nope. Just hop in. You're in the same boat as the rest of us.
Bat shit or turkey shit?
Well, either one. But in for weed, you want bat shit. For you can throw turkey shit is. I would say, like if you could get it, burn it maybe, like turkey shit would probably be some sort of fossil fuel.
What?
I mean, not fossil fuel, but
like a lamp oil?
You could probably burn turkey shit
Do you know
after
how
you dry.
fossil fuels become gasoline?
I know. Well, I read the dinosaurs were here and they fucked up. They got greedy. The corporations, and it caused I don't.
Keep going.
Anyway, the turkey shit refinery will be open soon.
Yeah, I think you could. I mean, I'm sure they probably are doing shit with turkey shit already, and not just smoking it.
Like alternative fuel systems in the future. You think that? Like I know that they're working on algae for an alternative fuel source. We've got wind, we've got solar, and now you're saying the emerging technology is turkey shit.
Probably.
Did you know that 80% of your local roads are already made of turkey shit, Chaille?
I did not know that. I know a lot of
asphalt ingredient.
A lot of the playgrounds that soft material, that composite that the kids can fall down in and hurt themselves. Like at least 80% of that is post-consumer turkey shit.
They might as well be. It might give them a little, these turkeys shit out a lot of chemicals that were pumped in them. They didn't have a great life. They were in a cage, and then now the kids are falling in it. So maybe it soaks in. This what you're sensing. That's the despair of the turkey.
Got it. Yeah.
And the drugs.
Right.
I mean, the turkeys already have a bad life. They're like fucking confined to a cage, and then they get into the drugs. And then they cycle up from there until they fill
sounds
the
familiar,
cage with body. They're all fucking just bloated turkey, and then that's when we get them. That's when we smoke them. Hey, man, why don't you just be yourself?
Cheers.
Hey, cheers, Erickson. Welcome.
Look at this.
What is that? A lager?
Bloody Mary in a can.
Bloody Mary.
Nice.
Oh, with vodka?
Got these last week down in South Padre because I didn't want to have to buy all the fucking fixings for Bloody Marys when I saw this. It's actually not terrible.
The show's just getting lazier and lazier. We should all just start drinking those.
Yeah.
Fuck. We abandoned Bloody Marys a long time ago just to drink whatever the fuck we had handy. But
we'll just hire
I
a
would make another
person.
one, but I have these now, so I'm just going to drink them till they're gone. Not bad, though, if you're in a pinch and you need a bloody.
If we ever have a party again, we could have like a bar cart person that just comes around and that's, breakfast drinks. Well, okay, they got canned mimosas and they got canned Bloody Marys. And then at 1 o'clock, then the beer service or whatever. We're not the drunks we used to be. I'm trying, but I just can't really, it's like running. It's like, you try to start running again. That's how drinking is right now. It's like I can only go like 3 or 4 without really throwing up.
You can only do it a couple times a week.
Yeah.
And before the sun comes up?
Yeah, I need a recovery day. It is similar to running. Yeah, like if I were to run, in theory, I would need a recovery day.
We should run, Andy. We should sign up for a marathon or something and run it.
I thought your doctor advised you against that, Erickson.
Well, she was surprised that I had already done it.
Shocked that you had,
that I survived it. Yeah. But I did survive it. So I'm better now. I mean, the second one couldn't kill me, could it?
She said, "You're no Bert Kreischer."
That is true.
I'd do that though.
Yeah. Well,
Andy, when was the last time you ran like an organized race that you actually paid for?
Last one probably the Eugene Marathon. It's probably been at least 5 years, more maybe. I retired after winning the big. I did the Big Sur a couple times, and I did the Eugene Marathon a couple of times. Was
the Big Sur a marathon or was it a half marathon?
Big Sur's a marathon. I didn't even know about half marathons. And then when I got, it's like you go there and it's like you go to a concert and you go, all right, I'm just going to hear the opening band and leave, So stick around for the whole show is the marathon, but I never really was what you'd call fit marathon shape, any of them. But I completed them without, having my bowels collapse or anything like that.
How many did you do altogether?
That's pretty fit, Andy. I mean, that's pretty fit.
4 of them. I think that's all. I can't remember doing any other one. So yeah, just 4.
Yeah.
And it's so it was like the Big Sur is really difficult though. The Big Sur is like one of
down Pacific Coast Highway, I believe, right?
Yeah, you're on Highway 1 from like past Carmel. I think they take you on a bus from Carmel and you go up the mountain 26 miles and you come down, but it's not all come down. There's some big hills in there. Yeah. And
basically PCH is, especially up there, is like hugging the coastline.
Yeah, and
it's got some spectacular views, and you're actually on a road for a period of time where people don't walk.
They shut the road. They shut the road down after the buses. I know me and my brother had some drama there, and we couldn't ditch the car where we wanted. and he got on a different bus. So I didn't even, I just happened to run into him on the first marathon where, even though we were together and we're going to run it together, he had to go, oh shit, we can't park here. So he drove, and then he caught another bus, and somehow or another, I ran into him about 13, 14 miles into it, but it was foggy too. So all the fucking views, all them sweet views. It's just like there's nothing. You can maybe see a cow. You're like, fucking, and grinding it out. And like I wasn't in shape. The first year I did it, I had a couple of joints because I knew I would be quitting on the coast, and you want to get high. Like I want to quit.
Yeah, well,
and
are you
just
smoking?
Wait.
What's that?
You brought weed with you and
Oh
smoked
yeah.
joints during the
You have a
marathon?
little fanny pack and drugs too. I had some. One of them. I took the wrong pill in the Eugene Marathon, and I was trying to take more of an upper, and I took a Marinol, which ain't exactly like a fucking an aid, but the Big Sur Marathon, the one year I ran it, you get it kind of in this, you get stuck with people in stride. Then you run one like you kind of have to dig in or just stop to get away from people. Sometimes it's just like fucking beat it, man, but they're at the same fucking pace you are. And I was with these ladies, and they were fucking driving me crazy, and I thought I would just blast past the water station and get past them, and then they went past it, and there was a guy who was all sprawled out, and you could tell there was some shit going on around him, like
on the ground.
yeah, I could see, like, I could see what they saw. He was kind of fat, and he had new running shoes on, and there was somebody getting ready to pump, had a needle, or they're like fucking ER type shit going, emergency response to what was going on, and everybody around it looked bummed out. And then I was stuck with these ladies, and they're like, "Oh, he was pretty fat," and it's just like they were not being funny. They were just being real dismissive, like man down, and they were like, "Oh, people who wear new shoes generally you don't want to wear new shoes when you're doing a marathon." And then we, I was stuck. We were going kind of up a hill, and I was just stuck with these bitches. And I decided to just kick it up and get past them. But before I could even get past them, they're talking about cooking and how they don't like cooking for certain members of the family. They're picky. And I was like, God damn it, you fucking ruined my iPod had fallen into the cooler on the way down, so I could, I found I was like had a whole plan where I wouldn't have to hear people really, and then I was like, I opened the cooler and it's all melted, and there's my fucking iPod in there with all my tunes. So, but that guy, the guy who was on that the guy who had the crowd around him died, and that was the peak of this of the marathon. I think it's called Hurricane Ridge, and on the day before. You go to the expo to get your packet. There was shirts that said "I survived Hurricane Ridge," and I thought of that when I heard that guy died. Like, I wonder if he kicked in the $28 and bought that shirt in advance. That would be funny had he had that on.
No, you got to give it back.
Yeah, you'd have to go.
The last thing they do is take the shirt back from you.
Andy's trying to buy his at a discount. I didn't pre-order it, but I know a guy that did, and he doesn't want it anymore.
Yeah. It's Hurricane Point, I think.
Mm-hmm. So what I'm also hearing from you, Andy, is that you run the marathon at the exact same pace as a couple of old ladies who are talking while running.
Well, these were, and then here's
I didn't catch that. That's good.
And if you look around when you finish a marathon, you can kind of go, well, here I am. This is my physical pack. And there was an elderly woman with a knee brace, and somebody looked like maybe a wounded vet, or he'd had some leg trouble on the marathon, and I beat them. I out-kicked them, but they were in front of me. And
I'm like, one-legged man.
Yeah. I beat two obviously physically hobbled elderly people. And I kicked I out-kicked them, and then an old dude, like Clint Eastwood looking old fucking dude with a vest goes, "Hey, Sonny, you should head into the medical tent." He's saying this to me.
I mean, why would he? What was the point of that, Andy? Were you bleeding?
I'd skip
something?
I'd skipped a bunch of watering stations. And they kind of like, you know, that
it wasn't looking well at
I
the
skipped the
end.
one at Hurricane Point. And then as I'd coming into Carmel, that's where my legs were fucked. And then you come in and it's like, I almost said sloped again. But anyway, the road was curvy. And
you can say slope.
All right, the road was anyway. Your stride or whatever. My feet weren't set down
not
even.
Curvy.
It's like the last thing I wanted at that point was a physical challenge, and this was like my striking or whatever is on these curves, and it's cool if you're riding a skateboard or on a bike or your body's not shutting down, but running at that striking, and I just didn't. I don't know. I did skip a lot of water stations. So it was my first marathon, and then this old dude said I should go get medical help, and I go, and then I go, I'm fine. He goes, no,
Andy?
Huh? No, he goes, it's tough getting older. He said, this was like a long time ago. Yeah. So, and I did, you know, but I know I did. I was kind of fucked. I mean, you know, I took his word for it and I went into the medical tent, and after that, I went in every time I could get in because it's like a spa, you know. I don't like needles, but after running a marathon, you're kind of oblivious, and they'll put a needle in, give you saline. Yeah. Which I like to have that at parties. I just maybe get an IV drip before the party, so you don't have to worry about it.
Load up.
Hey, yeah,
hey Andy, I don't want to burst your bubble. You know, at the halfway point, you can ride an ambulance the rest of the way and get us started on the IV. You don't have to torture yourself that whole time just to go to the spa.
Gotta
get right in the spa.
Before I started swiping marathon shirts, I always felt like you couldn't wear it if you didn't complete it.
Yeah.
But that's not true. You can just be a volunteer, just go collect one.
Like your Vietnam shirt.
Stolen valor. I'll allow it for Vietnam, but not for marathons, dude.
Not for marathons, motherfucker. If you look at that the chart behind me, you see that after about 9 miles, you go from 250 feet down to sea level and then up to Hurricane Point,
straight up,
which is 800 feet. So
That's brutal, dude.
How far is it? So in the distance of about 1.5 miles, 2 miles,
oh my God,
you're going from sea level to 800 feet.
That's where Andy had to listen to those old ladies.
Yeah, till we got up
all the way up that hill.
The guy died probably about where the little nozzle. He wasn't at the peak of it. He died on the other side of it. So it was like nice watering station, and there he was.
I'm going to give these ladies credit. I cannot believe, I mean, like the one I ran, there was nothing like that. There were no hills like that in the LA Marathon, but there's nobody, by the time everyone's chatting, but by the time you hit mile 10, talk is done. You know, people now are in the fucking running portion of it. And, you know, I'm amazed that people would be able to do from sea level up to 800 feet over the course of 1.5 miles after running 10 miles to start and still be fucking talking. You can barely breathe. Give these ladies credit.
And I've been a volunteer at several marathons, and I've noticed that at the later mile marks, it's not dudes who carry on. Yeah, I mean, maybe a couple, but it's like more like directions or like, you know, some urgent. But I have seen that where women just fucking can carry on. It's like they have a different level of fucking lung capacity or talking ability.
Where are they trained?
I don't know, man. But it's like I've never felt like even saying shit. There's a guy who.
Yeah, it's not even training, Chaille. Look, if you're at mile 20 of a fucking marathon and you're chatting with someone, run faster.
Yeah,
run faster. You're not running fast enough. Hurry the fuck up. Shut up.
Here's another. The Eugene Marathon is pretty flat, and I did that one without training, and I like somebody. I saw the shirt, and I was like, man, I want to do that, and I got into it, and I didn't train at all, and I just so I ran that one.
The shirt or the graphic?
Yeah, probably about the 23-mile mark. This guy just looked at me, and he's like, and he just wanted to run with me, and I was like, you know, beat it, homo, or whatever. But he was
he chiseled?
He was a pretty fit dude, and but he also said he was a paramedic, and then I looked like I need.
You wanted to run with you to look out for you.
Yeah, he was a paramedic, and I goes, well, you know, so I don't finish these things with a fucking.
Did you walk at all during these?
No. Well, yeah, there's like after a bathroom thing, walk just enough to get the legs moving again. I feel like that's kind of cheating too.
No, it's not cheating. It's not cheating,
dude.
But
I can't even imagine running that far. That's
I won't do it again. It's like
I can't imagine walking that far.
I walked I made it to, I think, mile 23, and then I walked mile 24 and most of mile 25, and then I ran the last mile 0.2 from there, and I did not feel a bit fucking guilty about it. I was happy to do it that way. I don't feel like that's cheating, especially if it leads you to the point of elderly people pointing you to the medical tent and paramedics wanting to run along next to you to be able to be a first responder.
It would be irresponsible if I didn't shout. I've got my best time, but I have to stay with this guy because it would be irresponsible if I let him down.
Yeah, he said I was, really white. Which I was, I am,
still are.
probably Dutch or Norwegian. But and then I go, what do I look that bad? And he goes, well, and then he sniffed me. He goes, and I go, you don't smell like ammonia. Like he
like
thought I just get fucking dehydrated because I lose track of what it's like you do get really, like the runner's high to me is like more of like a heroin thing, because you just nod off at some point and you're dead on your feet. That's how I go about it. I don't know why I've never really enjoyed the experience, and I was thinking of that one I finished, and then I got a nice massage at the end of that one or whatever. But same thing, went into the medical tent because I was dehydrated as fuck.
I just looked this up. When you're dehydrated, your body your urine is more concentrated, and you can have a strong smell of ammonia.
Yeah, if I was shutting down, that's what he thought I was shutting down, like motherfucker. And there's actually is probably have a picture of two of us finishing. It's like like I did drag him down.
He's running. He's holding the paddles in his hand.
What a fucking hero! Just move along, hero. Move along.
Hey, Andy, I got a question because I saw something come up when I was looking for these pictures. There's some kind of a tradition with a piano.
Oh yeah.
What's that all about?
Yeah, you get to the peak of one of the bridges, or you get to one.
Is that Andy right there?
No, I didn't. But there was a guy who played this for from the beginning of the race. I mean, from the first year they had it, and he died a few years ago, so somebody else does it now. But you go around this corner, you get to a bridge, and you start going across, and then you hear this music, and there's speakers along the way, so you hear it way before you get to it. But then you get up around one of the great bridges, the Bixby Bridge, maybe. And you get around the corner there, and then you see this guy in a tuxedo banging on the piano, like, oh shit, if you don't know it's gonna happen, it's really cool. And then it's cool. So
he's just there. He's not pushing the piano.
No, I mean, I don't know that he was selling. Yeah, he was
running along with it.
Hey, don't forget to buy my CDs. But you can buy his stuff, I think, back in the day. Yeah. You don't, I didn't expect to see that when I got up around there. And it's like, oh, that's cool. They got music out here, and then you're like,
Talk about trying to find your own gimmick, man. You're like, fuck it. Nobody's playing piano at the marathon. I'm gonna fucking set up.
Yeah,
you gotta find your niche.
I think you go the other way. I think somebody needs to go to like the LA Philharmonic and then just get up and start doing laps.
Sprinting.
Yeah. You fuckers are gonna ruin our marathon. We're coming to a concert.
Turnabout is fair play.
One year I had my brother Dave couldn't go, so the next time we went to I did the Big Sur. My brother got injured, couldn't make it, and I wanted to get the second T-shirt, so I was staying with Bent Washburn Anyone know him? Comedian.
Yeah.
And so I talked him into going. He got the shirt, and then I talked him into running the marathon, which he was not. He couldn't run it any. He had. Well, I was in better shape probably for the marathon than he was.
Did he smell like ammonia?
No, but he looked. I mean, so anyway, it was like fun to have somebody there, and I did. I was like had a goof. I went up with a beer, and I asked the front runners if somebody would light my cigarette, and they got real fucking upset. And I got a picture where I'm just standing. They're not into some fucking. They thought if I lit that cigarette, it would ruin their chance of winning or whatever. But I was talking shit with them. But
imagine you train for months and months and months to run the marathon. You're going to be one of the top finishers. You've got a strategy in your mind. And then right before they shoot the gun off, some asshole comes up and gets in your way and asks if you want a beer and can you light the cigarette? And then you run into him when the race starts. You twist your ankle. It's a whole thing.
It's
one 6:30 in the morning, by the way, at this point, right?
I'm with the elites. Like, hey man, you're not gonna fucking smoke that cigarette here. I go, no man, I just need it lighter. And then I told Ben, I go, just quit when you need to, because of course, he's only gonna run a few miles and then he's gonna quit. I go, no problem, and I stayed with him. And then when he quit, it was like a lot of people around. And then I go, hey, and then I announced it really loudly. Hey, everybody, this is the first quitter of this year's Big Sur Marathon. Like I gave him a proper intro. You might have seen him on. He's quit. And so that was funny. But yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know why a guy who's not in marathon shape would feel like trying to do it. It was stupid. It was like probably a desperate cry for help. Like I'm death by, I'm just gonna run. I'm gonna skip water stations,
like a horse with cans tied to its tail.
Yeah. I have my life insurance policy tucked in my running shorts.
Your fucking dolphins.
I remember I did a half marathon and it was in Coburg, and I tried to stay with this. I guess I was trying to get in, trying to be a. This one, the Coburg, was a half marathon. Coburg, it's real close to Eugene, but it's just flat country land. And I stayed with the front runners for like shit. In my head, maybe a mile, but in reality, it's probably like a half mile.
Even that's impressive.
Yeah. But
guys are fucking hauling.
And then I know. And then everybody disappeared from in front of me. And then there was nobody behind me. And then the rest of the day was people appearing out of nowhere and passing me. And one of the people who passed me was like an 80-something-year-old dude with a all fucking wounded looking leg, like multiple. And he was. What's that, Chad?
Oh no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But this guy was like an old dude. But he this is what he gave me a spiel as he zipped past me, disappeared into the distance, and then nobody was behind. It's very humbling to fucking get burnt out in the first.
I think that's the
first mile of a 13-mile run. You go, fuck yeah.
You're describing every single 2-mile PT test I ever did in the Army. I had a friend from Jamaica that would run the 2 miles in like 11 minutes and then run back to where I was and run along with me, like cheering me along the whole time. Come on, man, you can do it. Oh, it was a fucking horrible.
Why do they even make you run in the Army anymore anyway? You see any sort of footage from any sort of war, nobody is running. Everybody's in a truck or a Jeep or, shooting from a position. There's no more running.
Pat Tillman was
marching. Armies don't march anymore.
Tillman was really our last real, he was, it's like he ran, and that was probably, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think that some troops need to run, maybe to deliver the bad news about why they can't drop the missile.
I think that's how they
you
do
guys
it anymore,
hurry up
Andy.
and go. Listen, it's been a while since I've been in the military, but I will tell you that what I learned, and I started reading all of the regulations and the different things. And what I learned was that on my last PT test before I got out of the Army, I quit at the halfway point and just walked the middle. I didn't even finish it. I just went through the middle of the track and went back to the start point and was like, I quit. And they failed me for my PT test that I struggled to fucking pass the whole time with the run. The push-ups and sit-ups were all right, but I hate running. And but I failed it. And then they gave me what's called a bar to re-enlist, and they wouldn't let me re-enlist. But I didn't want to re-enlist anyway. But since I couldn't re-enlist, they had to pay me severance pay. So I was better at reading. I was better at reading than I was at running. So I
Private Loophole.
Man, I found so many of them, Andy.
Yeah, you were like Klinger was, I like how Klinger's kind of had the long con of being mentally ill, but really he was just
Yeah, we know.
LGBT, I didn't know I watched some lesbian movies on on Hulu, I think it is, Tubi, but Tubi's got LGBT. Yeah, if I want to misidentify a letter, everybody put your letter up. One's a disabled girl and her nurse. So like they have more inventive. Already I'm already enjoying that better than
you
the
porn.
usual.
You're thinking of you porn, Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
got
Tubi. Porn and red tube mixed up.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Let's back this up a little bit. You're on Ubi on Hulu,
Tubi?
and you found a fucking
Ubi on Hulu. Channel. You're like an old man, Erickson.
I don't know what
you don't even understand.
What did I get wrong?
He said he was on Hulu or Tubi. They're two different apps.
They're two different ways to get content.
I thought Hulu hosted. I thought he said.
But I'm into that. I'm into that storyline.
I want to know about these lesbian movies you found.
Well, this one was it's an older woman who's doing the home health care. You fast forward, but it's online, so you can't watch it go. So you just pick a time to stop.
Actually, with YouTube,
you're just gambling. You're just hoping that it lands in a good spot.
Well, look, if
good spot.
Jeez, man, he's like if it's around.
If it's an artsy kind of a hookup, you go to about an hour and 14 minutes of an hour and 30-minute piece. There's a logic to it.
He's trying to figure out the porn clock of how long someone will stick with a movie until there's action.
I get it, Andy. I know how to watch UFC that's been recorded, and you skip to about 15 minutes if you want to skip all the bullshit and watch the first fight. About 15, so you've got it down with the nurse porn.
I can't. It's just like you wouldn't want to teach somebody. It's like you just know.
Are you watching? Are you watching these movies to jack off to?
No, I'm just trying to. I don't know.
I mean,
hey,
he's just trying to go to sleep with a boner.
We're all quarantining differently. But also for just for current, actually our guests right now are lesbians.
They don't know they are. So
they
There's
do.
a trend happening here.
I know, yeah, which is fine,
well, they must be hot because you let them stay there.
No, but they were when I heard it was a lesbian pair that was staying here, and is that the right term? Is it lesbian American?
Yes. Are they having the sort of sex you were hoping for that the gay men?
How do their sheets smell?
Let's go to the tape.
I haven't gotten there yet, but it's there's one named Jimmy, Jimmy, and then Catherine. But Jimmy's.
Why
When you see,
saying people's names on this?
I'm giving them a different name.
Oh,
But it's just one is thinking,
He's just
Catherine,
making up new pseudonyms for no reason at all.
Debbie and Sam, but Sam anyway. But
Listen,
yeah,
Steve
so,
and Sally are they brought their own flannel sheets, so Andy can't sniff their sheets.
No, they live. Okay, here's their.
we heard about this
Fuck
place.
no, I mean I'm almost like doing the thing that I get. Like I'm tattoo the little midget, and then I get a rundown of what the guests are here doing, and I don't know. I didn't have my headphones around, so I was like, yeah, and then I hear, I was like, okay, so now I know everything. They're vegan,
and then
so
and then you try to fulfill all their fantasies.
Or they him.
Yeah, it's staying out of their fucking way, I think.
Yeah. Hey, ladies, you want to watch Tubi?
Yeah. Hey, I'm down with the sickness, yo. Watch Tubi.
Oh no!
I don't even consider it a sickness, man. I'm just saying that's what the church says, but I disagree. Hey, you know what I've noticed is people are confronting their two worst things in school: science and public speaking. There's a lot of people hitting. Well, there's a lot of people hitting the public. They're speaking in meetings and shit, jumping up in front of town halls. And it's like you see why public speaking is a lot of people's greatest fear, but their stance on the vaccine is got them up in front of a camera, and they're it reminds me of this goof me and Stanhope did, where we were opposing views on riverboat gambling in Cedar Rapids at a meeting, and we saw it on the news.
A meeting, or was this a comedy show?
No, me and Doug were there a day early in was it Cedar Rapids where Ashton Kutcher worked? That's all I remember is that, and we were there a day early drinking at the bar, and then we saw on the news they were different views and this on this riverboat gambling, and then the punchline was there was a town hall meeting that night, and we asked, "Hey man, where's the public library?" And the guy goes, "Oh, that's 2 blocks over." Like, oh well, shit. Now we're in. So we're gonna go to the thing, and then we were gonna do.
Is that where the meeting was?
Yeah, it was just right by the bar. So then we were close to the hotel.
I hope Andy told the story better on the other podcast.
Yeah.
It's like fucking bleeding a stone here. You asked someone where the library was because that's where the meeting was.
Yeah, that's where the town hall meeting was.
It wasn't a comedy show. It was an actual town hall meeting.
There was an open mic we were going to hit later, so we had time.
Where's the open mic coming from?
It's at the comedy club. Oh, man. Hey, Tattoo never had to have details.
That's why they gave Tattoo 2 lines, and that was it. Deplane, boss. Deplane. You're done.
He added too many details, unnecessary details. And Ricardo he was a stickler.
It's in the plane. It's coming. Look, it's in the sky. It comes down now.
Who's holding the vault of all his extras? I want to see all, like they want to get a hold of Trump using the N-bomb. How about it'd be fun to see all his those. I always like the cut of, what do they call those after the show, and then they show bloopers. Yeah, bloopers.
Tattoos. You want to see Tattoos bloopers?
Fuck yeah, I would.
Him getting pissed off.
Have you watched that movie? I just remembered that there's a movie that Peter Dinklage was in about him.
Oh man,
I haven't watched it, but it might.
Wouldn't he be pissed?
Hey,
wouldn't he be pissed?
Just be glad they hired an actual midget.
Mine did what Birthday Village has.
What if it was Michael J. Fox that just nailed the role, but he wasn't? And they were like, "Man, this is bullshit. I'm a midget. This guy's 5'1".
You just have to suspend disbelief, motherfuckers. It's a movie, man. Come on, anybody can play anybody in a movie.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, Howard Stern can play himself as a teenager when he's like 40. That was pretty funny. Man, yeah, I want to see it now. I always
yeah, I haven't watched it, but I want to.
I always wanted to have one of those, like a
midget.
A midget?
White. I don't know, probably. I did consider owning a monkey because I thought BJ and the bear had it was like an interesting, fun time they had, and yeah, having a sidekick more than a midget, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I never really took a shine to anybody that was that tiny, much tinier than me. Sean Rouse, I guess, could have been my sidekick.
Yeah, he's too slow.
Well, I doubt that Hervey could have outran Sean Rouse.
Dude.
I don't know. In their primes.
Oh.
Neither of them had them, but now Shawnee Rouse was in his prime, and that guy, Shawnee Rouse.
Imagine that episode of Fantasy Island where Tattoo and Sean Rouse foot race on the beach at midnight under the moon.
It could never happen, but how about a reboot where Sean took over and the old dude died and Sean took over the island and he was in charge of the little fella. Hey, man, relax. I don't care about the planes coming in, bro. You want to do a bump? Come here.
Hey, why are you biting me?
Yeah, he bites the guests.
Yeah, they signed a non-disclosure as they got into the airplane to go to Rouse Island. Yeah, Rouse was a biter, but like my old cat, he bites and it was like that. I don't think he ever would break the skin.
It's okay. It's okay.
Making excuses for a bad behaving pet. Andy.
Yeah.
I'm glad I never had to explain it, when he was around. God rest his soul. But if he'd have bitten somebody in there, he'd be like, it's kind of indefensible.
Are you talking about the cat or Sean Rouse?
Well, my cat, I understand it. I don't know. The cat does it for affection, and that's what Shawnee Rouse would bite people for. But he'd sometimes be a little inebriated, and he would make poor decisions on who to bite.
Still don't know who you're talking about.
Sean Rouse?
Okay.
Okay, that guy.
I feel like it was just a thing to do. Like, your hands have been crippled up by God in like a really shitty turn of events. No pun intended. So like your fucking jaws work really good. So it's like this works. I'm gonna fucking do it. That's gonna be
what
my
I
move.
felt like.
I'm a biter now.
Out of frustration.
Yeah.
See, and sometimes life will throw a jab back. That one time I know at least on one occasion, but one time for sure he lunging at me with intent to bite. And I don't want to victim blame or whatever, but if Sean got into your space and bit you, it's your fault probably because he was like batting away a hummingbird.
You really let your defenses down if Sean bit you.
Yeah, really on you.
Yeah. Look at that. That was the Bill Burr puppet that out of Junior Stop
Fort
Cut.
Lauderdale.
Yeah, the detached man.
That was when I met Sean Rouse and was warned about the biting. Because,
he'd love you, Chad.
Yeah, well, he did. And
I got along well with him.
Sean was I don't know. I mean, the way he went at it sometimes with the booze and the drug, I almost felt like he knew, he knew the inevitable. Like he was a detached starfish in a tide pool of a storm banging on the shore.
Somebody watched a nature documentary this week. In between lesbian movies, Andy's watching Planet Earth.
On the
Thanks
Delta,
a lot, Walt Shipman.
I did watch on the Delta flight. I didn't have headphones, so I just put on whatever looked interesting that I could stare at without anything, and it was a shark thing, and it was a fucked up shark thing. It was like lots of shark bites, and then a guy sawing through a ham with like the gist I got, and they also saw him rip up a starfish Like what I got out of it is I don't want to fucking, I don't want to mess with them. And it has nothing to do with Spielberg. It's what I saw on that Delta flight. Look at that. Sean Rouse and Junior Stofka. One of the weirdest comedy displays of all time. Sean Rouse had done that a puppet character before. So that's what Doug knew he could get Junior to do. Bill Burr. Rouse looks like Bill Burr. And then Rouse
Junior Stopka, Sean Rouse, and Andy were on that tour traveling around. And it was Doug Stanhope's birthday. So Doug flew out, Chad and I, to Fort Lauderdale to be on one of the stops. And you guys had 2 nights in Fort Lauderdale. And this night is what we caught on film because we did Sean's makeup and Junior carried him out on stage like a big sack of potatoes, put him on his knee, and they did Junior does a really good Bill Burr impersonation, and Sean would just sit there and blah 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 blah, and Junior would do the thing, and then the best thing was at the end, fucking Junior grabbed his fucking doll,
swings him back,
walked off the stage with the puppet as if it was like, show's over. I got to put him in his fucking crate. Oh, it was fucking great.
And then disappears. It's like Bigfoot carrying, it was like Bigfoot slunks over Sean Rouse and then disappears in a blur. But yeah, it was Sean. Sean he would just babble, and then Junior is like, hey, what's the deal with cats?
Like
man,
what?
He does a great, but man, that was the highlight of that trip. But there was that was I overestimated merch, how I do, and I had bags of merch. And then here's the deal with merch, and Chaille probably knows this: is you can't be all shit-faced drunk and try to sell merch.
You can't.
No, well, yeah,
I can.
So. And then Junior had a $500 car he taped together. He drove from Chicago to Florida to start this tour. It starts off, we're doing heroin, not Junior, me and Rouse. I was in charge of the tour. You don't put Steven Adler in charge of the tour.
I tried not the itinerary.
No,
it's something that there was a bad decision made.
My girlfriend from 7th grade pulled a fast one, and I don't know where the crack came from. That I do not remember. Yeah, because this is after the first night. We got there. It was a suicide prevention benefit for my girlfriend. So it was like Sean got there and he's like a travel day. And he's fucking hammered. So yeah, we went downhill from there. But it was on that tour, and then after that, we drove to. That's when the whole urine incident.
That's when you got left at the gas station.
Did that. Yeah, and then we had like a fucking. Anyway, yeah, fuck.
Well,
we did it all.
One of the funny things that I remember about when Junior and Sean Rouse did the thing was that, and like Andy hit on it earlier, is that apparently Rouse had done a puppet thing with somebody else before, so Stanhope's like, you can do this, but he refused to understand what the fuck Stanhope was talking about. Absolutely. Do you remember that, Chaille? Yeah. Right up to the very beginning, like, what do you want me to do? Like, just fucking angry about it. Like a puppet. That? You're gonna. It was you can see it.
The clip is still available online. I think it's at Stand Up TV. I'm sure Todd will put a link or something in the thing, or put it in here.
We put it up. The last time we put it up, we got knocked off of YouTube for it because there's a Metallica song playing in the background, and we got a fucking copyright strike over it.
It's like what it was.
You can I can pull that out, or Todd can pull that out. You can do that, but it is one of those things where you can see that Sean, he's there's no rhythm to him, like doing that. He just starts doing it, and then Junior has to like catch up, and then Junior starts talking. He's mid sentence, and then he stops moving his mouth. It's like, don't you know how ventriloquist works?
It was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it is good. And Doug did send that link to Bill Burr, who saw it. which was hilarious.
Oh.
You got to clear Mr. Squishles. Mr. Squishles would not hurt anything.
Oh, you're talking about the chipmunk?
Yeah, it was Murderoo. It was the little one.
What?
Bennett
Look,
would never.
Oh, we had the wrong cat. We fingered the wrong cat.
Yeah, I just wanted to, publicly state it because Benny's, he's an old man and he don't need no grievances, no me
What's
too.
the other cat's name?
I didn't like the name, but I wanted to keep the cat, so I let them name it Rue. R-U-E.
See, the murderer Rue does not sound as
murder. I know. Yeah.
I'm just trying to
right.
get people to watch the goddamn podcast.
Right. Mr.
The
Squishles,
murderer
you
of
draw
Mr.
people.
Squishles. Now that's something I'll tune into. I want to find out about the murderer Rue.
Listen,
this doesn't work. We don't need
the retraction is
ultimately
fine.
We're at the service of others. We're entertainment, right? To a degree. Yeah, man. Cats are they're lovable as shit, but they'll fucking. I mean, that morbid display my cat leaves around. It's like you don't need to leave the head pointing up. What the fuck? It's like she arranges it.
I'm sure I've probably told you guys this before, but I did have my cat one time brought a rabbit and was eating it on the porch on the belly, and it looked up at me. It was still alive. Like, hey, you gonna let this happen? I had to step on its head. It was horrible.
My God.
So, yes, I agree. Cats are horrible.
Yeah.
But I don't have any rodent problems around here, which means I don't have any snake problems. So cats are fantastic.
Yeah, I'm getting unprecedented chipmunk respect around here. Got a wide path when me and my cat walk around. We will fuck shit up.
Oh, you guys, you walked your territory with the cat, and like everyone fucking scary.
Yeah, actually, I do. We've talked about this before, but I do I got wherever I am, the pets in my posse, and then sometimes others want to hang out with me.
Mm-hmm.
So
like
I have
Dr. Doolittle.
Yeah, like the neighbor's cat, and he's got like one eye out, and I call him. I mix it up a little. Sometimes I use words I wouldn't repeat on here. I call him different things, but we're friends. We hang out, and I invite him in, and I put down catnip for him, and shit.
Are you calling that cat a faggot, Andy?
I call him faggot, one-eyed Jack, but he's got one eye that's just like if you put a cigarette to it. I want to put an eye. He could put an eye patch on him, and it would. But he has one eye that looked like it did, and one eye that looks like it's glowing with the devil, like the devil's candle, or
what?
Like a jack-o'-lantern eye. No, I know what I'm trying to say, but he's
triangle shaped.
Like my cat is, he's maintained his handsomeness. I've said this before. Mr. Squishles is a George Clooney of cats, and our neighbor's cat was a plain-looking fella, and then he got a Jack Elam eye.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're ugly shaming the neighbor's cat.
I know he's ugly, but I treat him just like one of my own.
Well, he gave him a comparison to a Hollywood star, Jack Elam.
True.
Yeah,
absolutely true.
Right. He put a pencil through his eye and escaped the life of being an accountant and became a character actor. Boom. All I had to do was just lean into the pencil one time.
I picture Andy in his house just with a pencil right to his face. Like, come on, you can do it.
Do this, man. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, how did he know though? Like, I could maybe get some parts.
That doesn't always work
an
out.
Eyeball. Yeah, not everybody's put there's a girl in my school who put up whatever happened to her, but she only had one eye areas. Man, yeah, that guy woke me up. Like that's what I saw when I was in a lazy
boy
in Medford, Oregon.
I know that one too.
At Larson's Superstore.
Show.
Where after that,
we're doing one.
That, yeah, man, I was fucking. I know we're doing another live clip. Well, Jack Elam is there, but
Let's
That's
talk about your
exactly what I
trip to
saw.
Denver. I know this has probably been
Oh, yeah,
covered on
no,
another podcast.
Yeah,
It has
yeah,
not.
yeah.